Hey, look at that. You guys can hear me now, hopefully. This is me, Beef, your buddy, also known as Beef the Legend, from the Pittsburgh Piledriver Podcast. Apologies that there are no frills behind me today. Trying something new, trying to give you a little bit more clarity. That way my face looks a little bit better. I mean, you know, it takes a lot to make my face look better, but it's trying to give you a little bit more clarity. Trying to get everything I can out of my nice camera. Gonna figure out a solution, maybe, to green screening. Maybe not. Maybe this is just what you're gonna get from now on. I don't know. I don't care. Welcome to the Beef Show. AKA Beef is Raw. So, you guys know the drill by now. This show is kind of an amalgamation of whatever the hell I want to talk about. I watched lots of football the last 24 hours, and I've also been to 2 AEW events in the past 4 days. Well, 5 days now. Regardless, I have a lot to talk about, and I'm pretty excited for the opportunity to do so. Hopefully my mic doesn't cut out again, because that would be awful. Anyway, I want to get started by thanking the sponsors for the Pittsburgh Piledriver Podcast, those being Casual Gaming Dad and his streams he does on Twitch and on Facebook. Obviously, you know us, you love us. Come join us on Tuesday nights for Among Us with Casual Gaming Dad and friends. As well, I want to thank Sean Tischler and the work that he does with IWC and Clearfield. It's been a while since we've been up there. Hopefully that comes sooner rather than later. I know that IWC just had a great event last night. I wish I could have been there for it, but it's been, like I said, a long week, so a lot of other stuff going on. As well, I want to thank Frig Off Ransom. He put some amazing videos up on YouTube. He's been slacking lately. I've been putting up more videos than you have, Ransom. Better get on that. But normally he's a pretty great wealth of excitement and such. So yeah, I'm happy to be here today. Happy to be able to talk to all you wonderful people that are watching either live or coming to the video afterward. So, real quick, let me do this. I'm going to do something new for the stream. I'm going to open up a poll. And real simple, it's going to be, should Christian be the #1 contender? Obviously, the answer is going to be yes or no. Let's go ahead and open that up here. So, I want to know if I'm crazy. Alright, to be fair, I know that it is, you know, obvious that I'm crazy. That's true. However, I do not believe that Christian should be the guy in AEW right now. Or rather, I mean, Kenny Omega is still the guy in AEW, don't get me wrong. I don't think that Christian should be the dude who's competing against him at All Out. You want to tell me that Christian's going to compete against him at, you know, Dynamite or Rampage? Whatever. Fine. Great. But, you know, at the end of the day, I don't think he deserves to be the guy. I'm going to build my own pool. Oh, there we go. I don't think he deserves to be the guy who is weird. I don't think he deserves to be the guy who is chasing the title for Kenny Omega at All Out. I think that they could have gone with any other number of ways. Oh, it's working for me. I think that they could have gone any other number of ways with the #1 contender at All Out, and they could have gone younger, they could have gone better, You know, you have talents like Jungle Boy on your roster. You have talents like Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy. You know, these guys are fresh and new and exciting and young. I think that they could have had a shot that Christian should. Or that Christian is getting. They also have guys like Miro, like Malachi Black, like Andrade. So if you're going to go with the former WWE name, which I respect, you want to get that, you want to get that brand, you have plenty of guys that could do that too. So regardless their rationale, I don't see why Christian is the guy dubbed to face Kenny Omega at the biggest show of the year. I don't. Somebody can maybe explain it to me. But I was looking forward to talking about that with the guys on Thursday. New show's coming up sometime this weekend, hopefully. But I was sick, so apologies. You're not going to get to hear my velvety tones on the show this week. But I don't understand why Christian, why now. So after the fact, and I came in guns blazing on Dynamite, I booed the hell out of Christian as much as I could, even more so on Rampage. There were some marks from the hills of West Virginia sitting behind me on Friday, and that was fun. They kept saying, "Oh, I don't know why Kenny Omega's overrated. I don't know why everybody likes Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega needs the help of the Good Brothers to win." You know what? Here's a thought. If you're going to make declarative statements, try not to sound like a fucking mark. Because if you sound like a fucking mark, I'm going to think you're a fucking mark, and I'm going to think you're an idiot from the hills of West Virginia with 4 teeth in your head. So, you know, don't be dumb. Don't go to a show to be dumb, because I'll call your shit out on it. The only reason I didn't is because I had my lovely wife with me, and I didn't want to get in a fist fight in downtown Pittsburgh. So I didn't. I was very well behaved. But regardless, and the vibe that I got from the Peterson Event Center, both on Wednesday and on Friday, is that people are behind Christian. I don't know why. I don't get it. I understand that he's a former WWE champion, well, world champion. I understand that. But to me, he's the dollar store version of Edge. Worse, he's the Wish version of Edge. Okay? You know, we always talk about, wrestling fans in general, we talk about the Jannetty. When a tag team breaks up, who's going to be the HBK? Who's going to be the Jannetty? And I know that Edge is the HBK, therefore Christian being the Jannetty. People say, oh, it doesn't always have to be that way, yada, yada, yada. No. You know what? Like, there's always going to be one person in that tag team more successful than the other. I don't understand the groundswell with Christian. And you know what? Maybe somebody out there can explain it to me. Maybe somebody can explain to me why Christian is so over right now. To me, I would have rather seen, again, Jungle Boy, Darby, Orange Cassidy, Miro, Malachi Black, Andrade, any of those guys. Lance Archer is another one that jumps right off the page. Hell, even Moxley. I am going to be real. Like, a lot of it is, hey, why not Hangman? It's the biggest show of the year. It's AEW's WrestleMania, and I hate using the word WrestleMania because that's not fair. WrestleMania is a different company, but you got it's AEW's Super Bowl. You know, here we are, the biggest show of the year, Chicago. They're gonna come unglued when anybody beats Omega, whoever it is, and that was proven on Friday night. Whoever beats Omega, Christian just beat Omega for the Impact title. Whoever beats Omega for the AEW title, the crowd's going to go crazy, regardless of who it is. It could be the Brooklyn freaking Brawler, and the crowd's going to come unglued. So here you have your biggest show of the year, okay? You have this guy, the belt collector, Kenny Omega, who has put in the work, put in the time, and has really been a great heel and a great asset for your company. He's been the guy since December. So, now is the time to take the title off of him. I was very, very biased. At first I thought, 100% it should be Hangman. I didn't understand why it's Hangman. Reports come out that Hangman's taking time off so that he can be around for the birth of his child. Okay, I can't begrudge that. It's shitty timing. It is very shitty timing. But it is what it is. You can't choose when you have a kid. It just happens. Congratulations, Hangman. I'm glad that you are, and your wife and everybody's having a great, having a family. Awesome. So I'm at peace with it not being Hangman. And thus, I believe that means it's probably not going to be a title change. Again, fine with that. But again, I say, why Christian? Why Christian? So, I'm gonna divert from AEW real quick. I'm gonna loop back around. Don't you worry. I do want to talk a little bit about Steelers preseason. Again, I watched lots of football the last couple of days. Got to see my boy Justin Fields show out against the Dolphins yesterday. Hopefully, Chicago was watching as well, and he'll get their starting job. By the way, during the Chicago Dolphins broadcast yesterday, AEW was mentioned 3 times by the guys in NFL studios, including mentioning about CM Punk probably debuting here within the next week, which is pretty freaking cool. Because if you're watching NFL preseason and you're not in the local market, you have to watch NFL Network. So if you're a football guy like me, you got to hear AEW's name dropped 3 times during the Bears game. Pretty cool. I digress. Steelers. So, Mason Rudolph got to start with the second game. I don't know why. I would have preferred seeing Dwayne Haskins start, because I want to see what Dwayne Haskins can do with the ones. Nothing against Rudolph. I obviously am biased. I'm not a Rudolph guy. I like Dwayne Haskins. Dwayne Haskins is a former number 1 pick. Dwayne Haskins is a former Ohio State guy. Dwayne Haskins is a guy that I trust. Dwayne Haskins is a guy who's had a rough start with the league, but he's a number 1 pick. He's a number freaking 1 pick. That means that there is talent there, and he showed out on Thursday night. He looked incredible when he played. And that was behind the 2s. So, and I know everybody's going to say, oh, well, that means he was playing against the backups against Philly, too. Okay, whatever, I don't care. He still looks great. Obviously, Ben's going to start this game, the 3rd game, next week against the Lions, which I won't see because of SummerSlam. Why the fuck is SummerSlam on a Saturday? I don't know. But, so I'm not going to see that. I'll keep up with it, though, don't you worry. And, so there's that. And Dwayne Haskins will probably start the 4th game, which a lot of the starters are probably going to rest. Why the hell aren't you giving Dwayne Haskins a shot? To me, he looked way better than Rudolph on Thursday night. Way better. Like, there's not even a comparison. Rudolph was accurate, but he was also very boring. Dwayne Haskins is electric, and he makes things happen. I know that nothing's going to be solved this year in the preseason. Ben is obviously our starter. That's fine. He has a whole year to grow under Ben. Reports are this may not even be Ben's last year. I think it'll be his last year with the Steelers. Who knows if it's going to be his last year in the league. But I think Dwayne Haskins is your future. Going forward, I think that they need to put stock in Dwayne Haskins. So, Najee Harris continues to look amazing. He is going to be an every down back, which is super exciting. Something that this team needs is an every down back. And they have great backups in Benny Snell and Anthony McFarland. Great change of pace guys. So yeah, I think that it's really going to be a good season this year, maybe if people can stay healthy. I hope that T.J. Watt gets his money and he's a happy camper. I don't want that to be something that's clouding over the. I hope that happens soon, because I don't want that to cloud over the season. T.J. Watt's a man. T.J. Watt is the man, and he deserves the money. So pay him like a superstar, because he's a freaking superstar. All right, moving away from football, moving away from preseason. You guys will hear lots of football talk from me in the coming months, I promise. I want to get back to AEW. Actually, before we do AEW, I want to get to something I just read. So Triple Mania was last night in Mexico, and AAA, Triple Mania, their biggest show of the year. Kenny Omega defended the Mega Championship against Andrade. Okay, cool. Like, I like that matchup, and I wish I would have seen it. I forgot all about it. Whoops. So, Kenny Omega defended the belt against Andrade, and he won because of a biased ref. That's cool. Keep the belt on Kenny, because I don't know why the fuck they took the Impact title off him, but I digress. So, I read a report today that Charlotte Flair blew off a WWE live performance, a live show that she was advertised for in Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina! So that she could attend Triple Mania with Andrade. That is interesting, seeing as they've put all this money, all this time, and all this effort into Charlotte Flair. She is now kind of blowing off WWE. I'm torn, because you guys know that I'm not a big fan of Charlotte. I think that she's overrated, and I think that she is okay. She's getting better, but I think that she's where she is because of her name. So I'm as happy as a clam, because that means that she's probably in the doghouse, and that she probably won't be winning the title next Saturday. But here's where Beefy begins to get unhappy, because if she ends up in the doghouse of WWE, supposing they actually release her at some point, I know, fantasy booking, but suppose they actually release her at some point, she could be a prime candidate to end up in AEW, and I'm sure that Tony Khan would be jumping all over it. He'd be dumb not to. The money and the time that they've put into Charlotte Flair on camera, she's a star. But I don't want to see her in AEW. I really don't. I want to see AEW grow the stars they have now. Obviously, Britt Baker, DMD. I want to see Nyla Rose. I want to see more Shida, Chris Statlander, Penelope Ford, Thunder Rosa, Jade Cargill. Like, I want to see these ladies grow and become the stars of tomorrow for AEW for the women's division. I don't want them to lean on people that WWE has put so much time and effort into. And again, no fault on them. That's like cooking a meal after somebody else has already spent 30 minutes cooking it, and all you have to do is, like, put the sauce in. I get it, man. Like, that's smart business. But that doesn't mean that I want to see it. So, Charlotte Flair blowing off the live event in North Carolina yesterday. And then it's a big deal because it's North Carolina. This would have been a homecoming for Charlotte. And she just blew them off so that she could go to Triple Mania. So we'll see what happens with her. We'll see if there are repercussions, or we'll see if she's a Flair and she can do whatever the hell she wants. That's a developing situation, I think, and that's something that I think is going to be exciting to kind of watch and see with bated breath. So, I do want to get back into AEW because they had a couple of great shows on Wednesday and on Friday. The internet, Reddit in particular, said that Friday's show on Rampage was, and I quote, Calgary Stampede 97 hot. So that's a big deal. Where's my water? Where the hell is my... There it is. So that's a big deal. The fact that Pittsburgh was an absolute crazy show, and I'll admit that hour from 10 to 11, Rampage was the hottest crowd I've ever been in. And I don't just mean heat. I mean, like, people were cheering from pillar to post, from beginning to end. That crowd had insane energy. I think the main event lacked a little bit, but I get why, that Britt Baker was there, because she's the hometown girl. Of course she's going to get the main event. And it's historic that women got to main event a show, I think for the first time, an AEW show, and it was the first ever Rampage. So that was super cool too. Oh, dribbled. Forgive my dribbling, but I believe that the best match of the night was Kenny Omega and Christian. As much as it pains to say it, Christian's kind of over right now, and the crowd was very it was about 60-40, if I'm being real. There were a lot of Omega fans there, with good reason. He's the best wrestler in the world right now, and Christian is Christian, so he was kind of over there. Christian is that is, and the title change came off super big on TV, and super big in person. As much as I'm beleaguered to say it, it was the right choice. I don't like it, but for the show, for the opportunity that they had to grab viewers and everything, it was the right thing to do. I hate it, but it was the right thing to do. I wish it would be anybody else but Christian. But we have a great week of wrestling coming up this week. We obviously have Raw, NXT, SmackDown, But wedged in between that, we have Dynamite, where the tag team titles are going to be defended against Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. I think that they may actually make the change, and they may actually put the belts on them before All Out, which would be smart, because they can set up a return match. And then on Friday, you get Rampage in Chicago, in the United Center. I think it's called the Now Arena, which is going to presumably be the debut of CM Punk. Now, I think it's possible that AEW is swerving us. They keep showing this bit about Darby talking about the best in the world. I don't know that we're going to get CM Punk on Friday. So if everybody's sitting there counting on CM Punk on Friday, would not shock me if they went a different direction. But, excuse me, my goodness, I think that we'll get CM Punk at some point in the next couple of weeks. They have Rampage on Friday, and then they have, in a week, they have Dynamite and Rampage and All Out and Dynamite again in Chicago. So there's plenty of places and times for him to debut. I would be shocked and sad if he didn't. I think that the tea leaves are certainly reading that way, and he's being kind of coy and sheepish. If they're trying to sell buys for All Out, I think that Friday night is the time to debut Punk. It gives you a week and a day to actually a couple weeks to ride that wave of momentum and get him booked and get buys. So I think it would be a smart business venture for them to do that. That's not just because I'm CM Punk, Mark. And then reportedly, Daniel Bryan is going to be debuting on the September 22nd episode of Dynamite, which is the one in New York. Assuming that society doesn't collapse in on itself again, which, may or may not happen. If they have the big show up in New York, they may debut Daniel Bryan then. So it would be a huge month for AEW. And this weekend we have SummerSlam and NXT 36. Now, you guys know how I am with WWE. I don't like the direction that anything is going, really. But SummerSlam is going to be the second biggest show of the year, and if you listen to them, it's going to be the biggest show of the year because they're hoping to have a full crowd. So, that's very likely going to be a really good show next Saturday night. And then the night after, you have NXT 36. I think I'll say it again. Enjoy NXT 36. Enjoy seeing Samoa Joe and Karrion Kross. Enjoy seeing Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. Because I think that things are going to be changing sooner rather than later. And I think that the NXT that everybody knows and loves is not going to be a thing any longer. And I think we're going to get the NXT that Vince wants. So, to me, this is kind of a hash mark. A delineation point, if you will. I haven't watched NXT's weekly episodes in about a month. I don't feel like I'm missing anything. So, to me, the die has already been cast. But don't be shocked if things start changing kind of rapidly after NXT 36. So, kind of a down note to end on, I know. But NXT 36 will be spectacular. Have no doubts about that. SummerSlam will be a good show. And then, like I said, I think that Dynamite and Rampage are both going to be great this week as well. So, and then All Out's coming up in just a couple of weeks. So, once again, I feel like I do this. I feel like I say this quite often. Be thankful, be privileged that we get to see wrestling right now in such a fantastic and interesting time. Don't take it for granted. So that's what I had to talk about today, this week. I want to talk about my own experiences at Dynamite and Rampage, which again was awesome. If AEW comes near you, by the way, go see it. If they come back to Pittsburgh, get in line to go see it because, man, it was two great shows. And plus, afterward, you might see somebody get in a fist fight in their car in the parking garage. That might be something that happens. No joke, legit. We are in a line of cars exiting the BST parking garage right across the street from the venue, the Peterson, and we see this car start to rock back and forth, and it's like my wife says, "Oh, they're having a slap fight." Well, then the dude starts lunging across the seat and starts like punching the driver, and the wipers kicked on. We have no idea what the hell happened to the car. Presumably they got out of the parking garage and, they're somewhere. They may still be brawling in Pittsburgh for all we know. Who knows? It might be brawlocks now. But yeah, weird, crazy shit happens when you go to these live shows. So go check out AEW. And you know what? I'll throw them a bone. Go check out WWE. Because at the end of the day, they're still the king of the mountain, until otherwise noted. So, get out there, go enjoy the events, check out SummerSlam, check out NXT 36, don't forget about Dynamite this week, Rampage. We have a show coming up, we'll have picks this week. It's going to be a great week upcoming. So, get out there and enjoy it. And most importantly, get out there and enjoy life, because that's what it's all about. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in once again. If you missed any part of this, you can check it out on YouTube. It'll be uploaded shortly, within about probably 20 minutes. For the other three jokers on the Pittsburgh Proud Road podcast, I want to say thank you guys. And thanks for viewing, and I'll see you guys around the block, and as always, rock on.